I've been thinking about something. Most people don't lack clarity because they haven't thought enough. They lack clarity because they haven't decided anything.
Welcome to Success Spectrum Podcast, where new entrepreneurs break free from limiting beliefs, build unshakable financial confidence, and step boldly into the life and business they were meant to create.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Success Spectrum Podcast, sponsored by Apex Affiliation. I'm your host, Kadeem McLean. Now, last week we talked about why doing more slows you down. This week, we're talking about what comes next for entrepreneurs, the trap of overthinking yourself into paralysis. I am largely and have been largely guilty of this. But let's get into why thinking more won't get you the clarity you're seeking and you're looking for. Every time I overthink, I sit there and I have to remind myself I'm overthinking. One of the reasons is because thinking feels safer than actually choosing and deciding. We've got a few options. If I decide on one of them, there's fear, let's say. There's what ifs, the negative what ifs. What if I choose this and all the cons happen, right? As opposed to sitting there and thinking about it, there's no risk involved, is what we think. It masquerades itself also as being responsible. We're sitting there thinking, okay, I thought through this product, I've thought through this process or this service that I want to bring to the market, and I'm being productive, right? I'm preparing for when I bring it to the market. We feel responsible. We feel like we're preparing for something that's coming. Do you need time to think? Absolutely. However, the issue is when we overthink. How much time do you really need to think? The thing that should have taken you 5 days to complete or think through took you 5 months. The thing that should have taken you 5 hours to think through took you 5 weeks. Let's compress that time frame and realize that we're really just wasting time. Sorry to say it like that, but we mistake delay for preparation, and we end up delaying more and more when we're already prepared. We know what we need to do. We know what decision we need to make. It's just a matter of making the decision and getting over that fear. So we treat thinking like we're making progress. And really, again, like I was saying earlier, it protects us from being wrong thinking. That's what we think. We think there's no decision that's being made, so there's no risk involved. Because I can think about if I go with this decision, option A, B, or C, there's negative things attached to it where bad things can happen, let's say. It's not going to work out the way I want it to. I'm going to put myself out there, make a decision, and it's just not going to work out favorably, right? We think there's no risk involved with not making a decision. That's what we feel like. But in reality, that's not the case. Because even a lack of a decision is a decision not to make a decision. I'll say that slower. When we don't make a decision, that in itself is a decision because you're choosing or deciding not to choose between A or B. That is a decision in itself. We need to realize that overthinking does not create clarity. It just delays commitment. Listen, I'm giving away a free Pixel 10 Pro XL, not because of Valentine's Day, but because this season is about upgrading your life. You can gift it to someone you care about, or you can finally gift yourself an upgrade. You can enter for free by following Apex Affiliation on Instagram and commenting Apex on the giveaway post. You can earn additional entries by working with me through Apex Self-Mastery or supporting the book Wings of Abundance on Amazon. The giveaway ends February 14th and the winner will be announced on February 16th. For full details, click the link in the description or check the caption below. And until then, keep evolving. Here's the thing though, waiting for clarity to arrive on its own, it doesn't work. It's not going to show up. See, clarity follows commitment, not the other way around. Commitment doesn't follow clarity. Clarity follows commitment. You decide, you commit, you say, you know what, I'm going to do this thing, come hell or high water, and you commit to it. Guess what? Now you can get some clarity. Now you can get some clarity on where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, because most often clarity shows up after you've already moved. Kinetic energy. I don't want to get into all of it because I'll probably say something wrong for you scientists out there, but once you move, you're creating energy, and that energy can be used for that clarity. Decisions often cut down your options. So you commit to something, you've decided on something, now you can get that clarity, right? You've cut down your options. This is the one thing. Okay, with this one thing, what do I need to do to make it work? Instead of thinking about 5 different things, what do I need to do to get these 5 different things working? No, what do I need to do to get this one thing working? There's less noise in your head when you have less options on the table, when you have less paths in front of you. Instead of A, B, C, D, what about just A and B? I need to decide between these two. I need to make a movement. I need to do something to get these things off the ground. And Daniel Kahneman, forgive me if I said the name wrong, talks about this in Thinking Fast and Slow. When uncertainty is high, humans default to analysis and avoidance. We freeze. Analysis paralysis, right? There's too much going on. There's too much uncertainty. So our minds go wild, if you will. So just as a reminder or a point on that one, clarity improves when options get removed. Just to put it into a point for you. Not while everything stays wide open. If we leave everything open, yes, you want to be open to opportunity and so on and so forth, great. But one of the reasons as entrepreneurs, they say find your target audience is because you're not leaving yourself open to every single individual in the world. No, you're focusing on the one option of people who need your service the most, who you want to help, who need your product the most. That gives you clarity in how you can help them. If you say I'm going to help the whole world, you have no clarity because you're literally talking to 8 billion people. I don't know how many are on the planet now, 8.5 billion people, as opposed to a smaller subsection of people, a smaller group. And as you talk to that smaller group, naturally what's going to happen is people from the outside of that target audience are going to filter in. So again, you're removing the noise of talking to 8 billion people and you're just talking to a select few because you have your target audience. Same idea, right? Clarity improves when options get removed, not while everything is wide open. So you don't think your way into clarity. You decide your way into it. You make the decision and then clarity comes your way. And that's where feedback comes in. Because again, feedback is so important. We can have a product, a solution, a service that is maybe 60, 70, possibly 80% done, if you will. I don't think you'll ever get to 100%, but to get further down the line, to get maybe closer to 90, 95, you have to release it. You have to get it out there. You have to get feedback from your customer base. You have to get feedback from the outside. Me sitting with a product, a solution, I can only get it to maybe 70% complete, right? 70% to say, okay, yeah, this is good. I know we all want perfect. I'm a recovering perfectionist myself. However, it's not going to happen. We got to release it. We got to get it out there because that feedback is what will get us that extra few percentages, right? So decisions, they give you data. When you don't make a decision, you have no data. You're sitting there confused and overthinking. You're going to continue to tweak and make changes and so on, as opposed to putting it out there, getting the feedback, which tells you what to do with it. The feedback really tells you what to do with what you have, because when you take action with what you have, that's where you get the real information. Because feedback shows you things that thinking never could, helping you to refine your direction. I thought this would be the best path for this target audience, but really when I put it out there, they told me, no, there's a slight adjustment that needs to be made. It needs to go here because you surveyed your clients. They've told you, no, this is cool, but this would make all of the difference in the world for me. And all of them told you that, or 80% or whatever the case is. And you say, you know what? Yes, okay, I made this shift and now the business is booming because I'm actually reaching and speaking to people the way they want to be spoken to, and I'm helping my target audience. But sitting still, it removes any chance to make that adjustment. It removes any chance to learn. And therefore, you're going to sit with your 70% product and you're never going to get it to 80 or 90%. You're never going to release it and get something from it. People fear the feedback, sure, because they don't want to put it out there. They want to, again, overthinking feels safe, right? It feels like you're being responsible. It feels like sometimes it can even feel like you're being productive. However, it's not productive. And one of the reasons for that is we're trying to protect ourselves, because to put something out there and to quote unquote fail, it feels scary. But when they give you feedback, that doesn't mean you failed. They're just giving you information on how to make whatever you're doing better and speak to more people in your target audience. They're giving you the clarity that you need because you decided to put out your product, your solution, your service. Clarity gets built through decisions and feedback, not endless analysis, sitting there and overthinking the whole thing 50 times. You got to release it so you can get that feedback. You got to release it so that you can get that information and make the adjustment. So if this is true, why do so many of us avoid putting our service, our product, our solution out there? Why do so many of us avoid making the call? There's a few reasons. And often it's fear disguising itself as indecision. We fear choosing wrong. I got option A, I got option B. What if I choose B and it ends up being wrong and I should have chosen A? What if I waste effort because I chose the wrong thing? Because really shouldn't be doing either. So let me sit back and think, because what if the real opportunity that I need hasn't shown up yet? So let me just sit on the sideline and not decide on these two yet. Let me wait it out. The fear of committing in front of people, right? We fear committing in front of people, saying, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to help X amount of people. I'm going to solve whatever issue that people have. And you commit to that thing but then it doesn't work out that way, right? So we end up not deciding because we fear choosing wrong, we fear wasting effort, and we fear committing in front of people publicly. This indecision, it feels like it's reversible, let's say, compared to actually making a decision. It feels like we're not able to go back. If I choose B, option A is now off the table and I'm stuck with B. And if B doesn't work, I've got to quit at being an entrepreneur. That's not the reality, but that's how we feel. But what you realize is most decisions are reversible. If I choose option B, as an example, I came from Ontario to Alberta. And if I stuck with indecision and I thought to myself, there's no way to reverse this thing. What if I don't like it out there? What if it doesn't work out? What if so on and so forth? Guess what? I probably would have never came. However, I know Ontario's not going anywhere. It's still on the map. I can always go back if I want to. So why would I fear making this decision and going to another province? I can do that, no problem, because the decision is reversible. Why would I fear putting out a certain service, product, or solution for my business when I can always take that off the table if it doesn't end up being something that's valuable to my target audience? Or I can use that again to get the information and feedback and tweak what needs to be tweaked so that it is something valuable to my target audience, right? Entrepreneurs, we often, unfortunately, confuse flexibility with avoidance. We got option A and B. Again, I want to be flexible in case option C comes up later. So let me not decide on option A or B yet. Let me wait for option C to come up. That's not waiting for flexibility. You're avoiding making a decision. And unsuccessful entrepreneurs, they make decisions quickly, or rather they make decisions slowly, and they change them quickly. Successful entrepreneurs make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Which one do you want to be in? Indecision, it feels safe, but it's one of the most expensive habits you can develop. As I just told you, successful versus unsuccessful entrepreneurs.
What if shopping could earn you cash instead of just costing you? You've been stuck in the cycle, tap, swipe, spend, watching your paycheck just disappear. But one day, after you stumbled onto this app called Rakuten, you ask yourself, why am I paying full price when I don't have to? But then you think, maybe it's just another gift. Then one of your friends tell you about this app called Rakuten, who makes them money and gives them cash back and rewards for thousands of stores every time they make a purchase that they were made anyway. You try it once, you discover hidden deals, compare prices, and you start winning. Shopping becomes a strategy. Every tap pays you back, and you still get what you want. You share Rakuten with your friends, watch your income grow, and become more financially confident. Download the Rakuten app today and keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket.
So how do you actually decide without rushing or overcommitting? Decide cleanly, not quickly, right? You want to be able to make a decision as quickly as possible. However, you want not all the information, but you need enough information so that you can make a clean decision, right? You don't have anything holding you to option A when you choose option B, because you know you're going to make this decision and you're going to make this decision work. There's no other way about it. Make this decision and make this decision work, because in reality, when we have A and B, both are probably going to work. Both are probably good decisions or good options. It just depends on which one you want to go with, which one you decide. And if you decide whichever one, you put in the effort, you put in the time, you put in the energy to make it work. So here's a quick framework for you. Decisions don't require certainty. Most of them are adjustable anyway, like we talked about. You just set aside a window for making the call. By the end of Friday next week, this decision will be made. If Friday morning comes, Friday afternoon comes, clock is ticking, make that decision. Choose based on direction, not perfection. Is it in alignment with where I want to go, what I want to do, who I want to help, the difference I want to make in the world? Is it in alignment with my core values? Because if it is, more than likely, that's the decision to be made. If only one of the three options you have are in alignment, that's the decision to go with. Very simple, very straightforward. There's no question about it. I don't got to waste time thinking about it. No, this is not in alignment. Yes, this is in alignment. Let's go with it. Use feedback to adjust from there, right? So again, choose based on direction, not perfection, and use feedback to adjust based off of whatever adjustments you need to make on that decision you made so that you can make it work. You can come up with your own framework, but these are just some things to think through as you're making a decision, right? Come up with your framework to say, okay, these are my 10 questions, and each decision can score up to 10 points. You got two decisions in front of you. One of them scores 3 out of 10. The other one scores 6 out of 10. You know what you got to do. You know what decision needs to be made. A clean decision beats a perfect plan that never leaves the notebook. If you're just constantly putting things out on your notebook, jotting things down, it's good to I guess journal or have a notebook and jot things down and come up with ideas and decisions, their options or whatever the case is, or even do a pros and cons list, whatever. It's good. However, if that's all you do, you stop there, you stop short. And it was a waste of time. Sorry to tell you. But make a decision, and then that will give you the clarity you need. So hopefully these are some key points that you got through listening to this episode. Clarity is not something you find by thinking longer. It's something you build by deciding and learning. Make a decision, get the feedback and information, and make the adjustments that you need to make. One action step I'd like you to do this week is make one decision you've been sitting on, get the feedback, and let feedback, not fear, guide what comes next. Next week, we're talking about the real cost of chasing too many opportunities at the same time. One other thing I realized about decision making is it gets a lot simpler and easier when you're not stuck in your own head. When you have some positive, let's say uplifting outside voices, not just uplifting per se, but clear and logical as well. And that's where coaching creates real leverage for you. So again, if you're looking for my coaching program, you want another outside opinion, another outside voice, someone who can look at it strategically and see the missing puzzle pieces, click that link in the description. One final thing for you is clarity comes from decisions and feedback, not overthinking. And I hope you got that from this episode, because that was the whole point of this one. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Click that like, subscribe button, share it out with somebody who you know can benefit. And remember, success is not a destination. It's a spectrum. So keep evolving. Kadeem here, and I'll see you on the next one.